Hello guys, and welcome to the Stanley Parable. This is the first game that's not Minecraft that's going to be on the channel. This game came out last week, and I'm a little scared to play it, but I'm also very excited. I played the demo, and it was pretty amazing. So I'm looking forward to it. I accidentally already got 2 achievements. I got one for turning on achievements. Achievement unlocked. And I got one for logging off and signing back in. So let's go and let's start the game. The end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Oh no.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I have control. Okay. So let's see, that clicking does that. Can I do anything? No. What's that? Nothing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Go to the meeting room. Okay, 426. Anybody there? 4B6. I hate Mondays. Ooh, the ceiling? Okay. Ooh, that looks interesting. Kind of something this quarter. I can't see that. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, do we follow the guy's instructions or do we not? My gut is to not. Let's do it. Let's follow his instructions. Oh god. Okay. That'll be alright. 413, where are you? This computer's still on. You're wasting energy. 411. Ooh, it's very bright. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Boss's office. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agendas and reflect. Ooh, that's changing. Everyone is unique. You most of all. The number of slides in the slides. Synergize core value expenditures. Rate at which same slide depicts the same information. This game is amazing. Monetize. Free to play. Rate of increase in graphs. Oh god. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your boss appreciation specialist. Alright, I'm not going to read all these. Let's go. Broom closet. Oh. Can't open the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I don't want to do that. I want to click things. There is nothing to do here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I don't believe you. Look at this folder. I want that folder.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Alright.
He's literally just standing there doing sweet F. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's go downstairs. No. Fire hose. Uh-oh. This looks creepy.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
1, 2,
Maybe,
B4.
he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
It doesn't.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
What's that?
He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
This is all a
what
dream.
a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself,
God, we're in
I
the same-
suppose I'll wake up soon.
We're back here again.
I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
This is a different
So,
color.
he imagined himself flying and began to gently
Oh,
float
God.
above the ground.
I'm flying.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Oh my
Now
god,
the
this
voice
is
was
amazing.
describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing
picture
me,
change?
thinking about how it's describing my thoughts,
going crazy.
he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
This is
He
so
would
weird.
prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I'm in control.
So he closed his eyes gently,
Okay.
and he invited himself to wake up.
Wake up,
He
Stanley.
felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Do it.
the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me wake up,
Wake up.
He thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Me too.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Oh,
My
sorry.
life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be
I
fine.
am okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, crap.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Oh, no.
And everything went black.
Oh, oh, God. Oh, no.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh, no.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself,
Oh, no.
and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
I should have gone
And
upstairs.
although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Mary, come on. Oh, man. I guess I should have gone upstairs, guys. Alright. We're back. We're back here. In our cubicle.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh,
What could it
starting
mean?
again.
Stanley decided
Alright.
to go to the meeting room.
Let's go to the
Perhaps he
meeting
had
room.
simply missed a memo.
Can we go in here? What? Oh, that says something. Invalid input. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Should we go through the left again and try to go upstairs? Okay.
Yet there was not a single person
Tips
here
for not getting
either.
fired. Talk less.
Feeling a wave
Do
of
unbelievably
disbelief,
amazing work.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
All the
hoping he might find an answer there.
Let a ball up inside you. Take out the passive aggressively on other workers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. That's how it works. Alright, broom closet. We're not going in there again. Learned our lesson. Alright, we're going up. We're going up,
Coming
guys.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, swanky. Okay, let's see what this says. Executive bathroom. Can't go in there. I maybe should have done, you know, the opposite of everything he says first. Can I read that? I can't. Anything in here? Nope.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Of course. Okay.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
Oh.
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped
Ooh.
into the newly opened passageway.
Nice. Okay. Guess we go down. Loading. It's loading, it's loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, Lord. If the light is on, call 914 immediately. I don't have a phone. Escape. Mind control facility. We're gonna escape. We'll go for it.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh, no. Well, let's go for it anyway.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Oh, what's this? Okay. Oh. Oh no. Uh-oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Oh god.
Farewell, Stanley.
Bye-bye, guys. Oh.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh my god, guys. Oh. I'm out. It didn't kill me. There's some boxes. I have no idea what's going on. This is the best game I've ever played in my life. Oh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I don't know. Oh.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless,
It's
making
true.
life the same. Do you see now?
Nature
Do you see
paintings.
that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. I get it. So let's see. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added throughout the development. The core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Filing cabinets. The two doors. The set of two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. So maybe we should keep going to the left. The office. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game. Buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Office computers. Okay. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. So we're at the end of the game, but there is no end of the game. So remember that. Employee lounge. Underground. There's the mind control facility. Ooh, what's here? Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded a dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game. This is the most brilliant game I've ever played in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. This is the greatest thing. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. I guess there's a freedom ending. Countdown desks. Monitor room elevator. Alright, I think that's how we get out. Maybe. Who knows? More stuff from the game. Game design mock-up. Ooh, there's the office. Different iterations of the office. Awesome. Alright, let's go through. I guess this is heaven. I have no idea. Exit. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay, on. And?
Can you see?
No.
Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
I can't see anything.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Oh.
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
Okay.
Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
I let time choose for me. I'm sorry, lady. It wouldn't make good video if I quit. Am I dead? Hello? Oh, okay. I have to actually do it. Alright. Alright, we have to quit the menu. Get in the game. This is fantastic. Alright, we're gonna skip this time, and I guess we'll keep going to the left.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah, we know.
What could it mean?
I have no
Stanley
idea,
decided to
guy.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have no idea. I don't think I missed a memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I guess in the future I'll start cutting this stuff out.
Yet there was not a
But
single person
maybe I
here
won't, because
either.
it's kind of part of the.
Feeling a
It's
wave
in the
of
entire point of the
disbelief,
game.
Stanley
So we'll
decided
see,
to go
we'll see.
up to his boss's office.
Alright, so we're
Hoping
going
he'd
up.
coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. I don't remember the code. It's 2 something.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
Yeah.
stunned to discover not an
Those
indication
codes,
of
those are
any
nice
human
plates.
life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings,
Isn't this
desperate
different?
for clues to his
Did
situation.
you say this
But his
first time?
attention was caught by a keypad
Huh.
behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, This keypad guarded the terrible secret
Oh, God.
that lay buried below his
I didn't mean to
feet.
do that.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course,
2, 8,
Stanley couldn't
4,
possibly have
5.
known this.
Got
Yet
it.
incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
All right, we're going
Amazing.
to
He
the
stepped into the newly
mind
opened
control room?
passageway.
We'll go to the mind control room. Alright, here we go. Mind control room. Here we go. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to come to about, right?
Stanley walked straight
Here?
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And we are going to call it an episode, and I will see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, hit me up with a like and a subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.